Hello, welcome to the European Parliament, the Youth Voice TV conversation. Guys, I just came back from Strasbourg. It's a really busy week. Tudor,
Sure.
you were my colleague and worked together with me for about 2 years, and even now we are not working for the same MEP, but you're still working in the Parliament. And can you give us a general introduction how the European Parliament work?
Well, it's very interesting to see the calendar, the activities calendar of the MEPs, which is grouped each month in 4 different weeks. One of them is committee week, when MEPs come and discuss within committees on several subjects, varying from security and defense, foreign affairs, internal market, agriculture, of course, environment, consumer protection. So all these committees, 20 if I remember correctly, and 2 subcommittees.
So MEPs like 735, but I guess 734 MEPs. So they are grouped into the committees and the delegations, right? Committee,
Yes.
subcommittee, and delegations. And
Is that every MEP should be at least in one committee, or is just their choice what kind of committee what they want or something?
in my view, that's they have to choose one committee. Well,
Okay.
actually, it's called the DeHaan system. You know, just in the parliament, that's many MEPs. They are grouped into the political group like EPP, like Socialists and ALDE and ECR. Just because all of MEPs, they are from 27 member states.
Okay.
And with the common interests of their party, they work together in a bigger party group, so it's called a group. And so far in the parliament, we have got 6 groups, right? 6 or 7 groups. According to the size of the group, they have got the rank of the priority. So it's
Okay.
like a DeHaan system. So let's say, just let me give you an example. So the biggest party is EPP in the European Parliament. So they have the first right to choose which committee they want to go to highways.
Okay.
So
So the bigger one has the priority to choose.
Yes,
what they
yes,
want.
yes. And then they can say that, okay, so I want the chairman of International Development Committee. And then the second biggest group will say, okay, so you want the chairman of this? Okay, I want the vice chairman of this committee.
Okay. So like a
So,
compromise
yes,
or
yes,
something
yes.
like that.
So it turns around. It's called the DeHaan system. And MEPs, they are grouped into those committees, subcommittees, and delegations. But within a committee, there are more than, I think about 40 or 60 MEPs.
Okay, 10 MEPs.
Yeah, so how can they work together? They are grouped into working groups,
Okay.
right? So, for example, in the Dev Committee, they have working group A, who's dealing, I think before they dealt with Asian countries, but now I think it's about Africa or just some part of. And then the first week, they have a meeting and they made decision within this working group. And then they report the decision to the committees.
Okay.
I'm just in a general principle.
general
Yes,
way.
it's like they report to the committee, and then next, the committee will make the decision,
Okay.
and then report to. Sometimes they even have this kind of joint committee meeting. They make decision, and then the third week, they made the decision in the. I think before the plenary, they made the decision in the Conference of Presidents, which means all of the chairmen of committees in the parliament, they have decision, and then the final week in Strasbourg. So they are voting
for that.
yes, for all of the
So,
things.
so what's the main difference between Strasbourg and in Brussels? You know, there are 2 like European Parliament. One is in the Strasbourg, that office buildings, right?
And one
the
is
others-
in Luxembourg as well.
Oh, and one is in Luxembourg.
The secretariat
But
of
you
Parliament.
guys are always have been there been in Strasbourg. So what's the main difference between there and here? What's the main functions?
Well,
Different functions?
according to the treaties founding the European Union, the main activities will take place in Strasbourg once a month. That is voting, the plenary week. Whereas all the other activities take place here at Brussels, committee works, group meetings, etc. The most important part of the legislative process, the voting, takes place there. This has been according to the treaties for 60 years already. The activities did not always take place in Brussels, like committee weeks. It has always only been in the last 20 years, if I remember correctly.
So, if you want to have a simple answer on your question, it's like, generally speaking, most likely, the European Parliament in Brussels, they deliver the work.
Okay.
And the European Parliament in Strasbourg, they make the decision.
Oh,
And,
that's clear to
yes,
me.
and the secretariats in Luxembourg, they deliver the service of the European Parliament.
Ah, wow, that's quite nice. And I heard that you guys are all in the European election, right, in the 2009
Yeah,
or before once. So how was it? I'm very curious about it.
It was, I can tell that it was fantastic. It's the first time, well, I'm from China, so
Really?
well, come on.
Yeah.
I was born in China and I was grown up in China, and according to my background, it's really amazing because because I've never seen this kind of campaign. Peter, perhaps, well, he has the right to mention about this.
Well, I've been last year with Lynn in the European election campaign in the UK, but also this year for the general elections. It was a really good experience for me as well, and I had a lot to learn about the political system in the UK and the way they organize the campaign. It was really interesting. Although there are some similarities and differences between a campaign in Romania, for example, my country of origin, and the UK, I think there are more similarities between them. But I had to having contact every day with all the people. Yes, canvassing. It was a very tiring activity, but it was very fruitful because we had a chance to discuss with all those people from various backgrounds. Some happy to see us knocking on their doors, some not so happy.
So you're really knocking their doors to go inside home to talk everyone, really?
And sometimes he talked with the dog first, and then the human being.
Well, canvassing basically means going around to all the people in an area and discussing with them about the elections, but not in a persuasive way. But to find out information about how they're planning to vote or how they voted last time. And it's very good for the election team to find out in this way what are the people's views and perspectives. So then they know whom to approach when the election day comes.
Okay.
The general idea is that MEPs, member of the European Parliament, they are the special representative which are sent by the national parliament of the national states of the EU. Let me give you an example in the UK. That's just, let's say, within the Conservative Party. That's the whole procedure is costs about 2 years to select MEP candidates, and then they put MEP candidates on the list. So basically, they have one councillor to nominate, and they need another councillor to support it, and then a group of people.
So this
they
all
interview
happened
them.
in that Conservative Party?
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's with the party issue,
Yes.
like to
Yes.
nominate who and...
It's the internal decision of the party,
Okay.
actually. And then finally, they put the MEP candidates on the list with the rank. So the first rank is whom, and second, third. So during the election, voters they vote for the party, right? So more votes the party gets, more MEP candidates they can put
Yeah,
to the
okay.
European Parliament.
Okay.
So that's the general idea.
Yeah.
And the British Conservatives is a little bit special because they maintain the procedure for making sure their candidates to be elected
Yeah.
for hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years.
Yes. So their strategy is 1 month before the election,
Yeah.
they send all of their party members and workers like us to knock down to all of the potential voters and just ask them that, okay, so the election is coming within 1 month, so what's your feeling? So who are you going to vote? And they may say Labour, they may
Yeah.
say Liberal, they
Or
may
they may
say
say, I don't know.
yes, and they can say Conservatives.
Okay.
And then we make the record, right?
Yeah.
And
But you know,
some people,
you know,
and-
you just every time you guys should go in, really go in that door,
Yes.
and not just call him or
no,
send some email.
No.
That's what canvassing
Ye-
means,
yes,
really,
yes.
going and knocking on
Yeah.
doors.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
very demanding as well, because it's not as simple as it seems, just knocking on people's doors and asking them if they're going to vote Labour or Conservative, because you have to do this for 1 month, basically every day, and you do it from early in the morning until midnight sometimes. I mean, it's very demanding as well, because some people are not very happy to talk to you, whereas some people want to talk to you for hours
Yeah.
and explain to you
And
why
yes.
they're planning to vote in a certain way. So,
And sometimes people question you.
and sometimes they send their dog out for you. So
Yeah.
it's also, it can be
Yeah.
funny sometimes, but dangerous in other times.
So that's at the beginning stage. That's
Yeah.
we know the door and then we make the record. Well, okay, so who are our supporters and who are our potential supporters? Because some people may say that, okay, we haven't made the
Yeah,
decision yet.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next stage. So the next step is